Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special reunion 2020 episode. What is that? That's when I had a guest on in the past, and I liked him so much I had to bring him right on back. So today's special return guest is Abhi Golhar, and he's the founder over at Meridian 84. Abhi, welcome back to the show.
Adam, thanks for having me, man. I certainly appreciate it.
Oh, man, great to have you back on. I'm like, we got Abhi on the schedule today. This is going to be a good episode, and I love your proposed topic. So making smart business and investing decisions. Who listening doesn't want to be able to do that? But before we get into that, I do want to get a little bit more into what you're doing as an entrepreneur. So first, tell us a little bit more about your business, please.
Yeah, let's do it. So I founded Meridian 84 I suppose in response to this crazy notion that I had that, you know what, we absolutely can invest more than only in real estate. And I love real estate investing, don't get me wrong, but I realized something about myself. I am a much better, savvier business investor. And for my real estate investing, I really just want to buy and hold for the long term. And quite frankly, Adam, that gets boring after a while. So, and for me, if I'm not doing real estate right, if it's not boring. So it has to be boring for me to do it correctly. Where do I get really my excitement and all the joy? It's turning around businesses and investing in businesses and buying in businesses that I feel, just like real estate, I can rehab. That's why I founded Meridian 84. It's one of those things I've always been passionate about and I've decided we're going to do this. And so far it's really paid off. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I cannot wait to share more.
Man, I love that. And I think that's a great transition. Let's get into it. So making smart business and investing decisions. Where do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, I think, we live in very interesting times, especially today with the entire COVID-19 issue. But I think even before that was even a thing, there are a lot of investors, real estate investors out there that are jumping into the market and they just have no idea what they're doing. They're getting caught up into the hype. And the same thing with small business owners. They're not paying attention to building a business. They're paying attention to building a job. And they're not looking at scaling a business. They're looking at scaling people. And that is a major challenge for me because I guarantee you're going to wake up one day 40, 50, 60 years older and say, what the heck did I do? I didn't build a life for myself at all. And the mistake that a lot of these business owners make, and even real estate investors, one, we're not investing back into the asset that we should be investing in, which is either your business or real estate, or both in my case. But the biggest mistake that business owners, entrepreneurs, and real estate investors are making is not understanding how to use tech to scale the business, trust others, bring in a COO, and let go of the business every now and then. It's okay. Go to Italy. Not right now, but go to Italy. Right? Like drink some wine, enjoy the food, and then come back and have your business be stronger than when you left. And that's the true hallmark, I think, of an entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's so hard what you said. I mean, that's my personal struggle. Was in the beginning, I'm getting better, and I think where I started to get better over the years was when I did start to do that and people got better than me. But you can't let people get better than you at things if you do them yourself all the time. Like, you have to let go. And I had that was my big plague that kept us small for a long time, was that I was the bottleneck. And I knew it, and I was like, oh, man, I knew it, but it was just so hard. How do you think, so it's one thing to say it. Like, what do you think are some steps or some things that people can do to to actually do it, though?
Tip number one, get a personality test. I love Predictive Index. There are a bunch of different tests out there just to validate who you are and how you behave. Without that, it's very difficult to be aware of who you are being in a meeting. You just don't know.
ENTJ, I know who I am. Got it. Bam.
Yeah,
I got a tattoo. No, I'm just playing. I don't, but I could.
You seem like a guy that would take a personality test and get a tattoo, Adam. Like, that's exactly right. It's like, hey, I got one. I've taken 6 personality tests, and look at my arm. It has all 6. And some of them conflict with each other, but that's okay because my name is Adam Torres, and I kick butt every day.
Well, it happens.
So I think one of the first things is get to know yourself. And that's taking a personality test, that's journaling, and that's really kind of understanding how you're thinking throughout the day and what gets you fired up and what annoys you, etc. Once you're aware of these things, then start to find people that can first complement you in your business. And then secondly, find people that can take you out of your own business. Ultimately, I'm a firm believer. I mean, Adam, you live in the creative world every day. You know, you interview so many amazing people, and that enables you to think about what's to come. That enables you to think about different ideas. And for a lot of business owners, we want to stay in that creative space. We want to be able to be the visionary, see what's coming down the pipe, and say, hey, here's how we're going to adjust to it. And here are the new service lines, or here are the new revenue streams we're going to build. We can't do that unless we give ourselves the opportunity to do that. And that starts with understanding who we are, the personality test, then becoming aware of who we're being in meetings, because we never know. Like, the nonverbal language really matters. And number 3, taking action on that. Don't just say it. Don't be that business owner that's 50 years old and say, yeah, I hate millennials, I'm going to do this. And blah. No. Be the person that is open, vulnerable to your team, have very clearly outlined objectives for yourself, and go strive to meet those objectives. Those are a few tips that I recommend.
What do you think is another? And I love it, by the way. I love all these tips. I want another one out of you though, because I know you have a ton up your sleeve. So what do you think is another reason or another way that people can make smarter decisions, just in general?
Use tech. So here's something interesting, right? And I'll pick on real estate investors, more specifically real estate wholesalers. Real estate wholesalers, there are only a handful of 7-figure wholesalers in the country. Okay, not anymore. Everybody else that says that they're a 7-figure wholesaler is probably lying to you. Mm-hmm. Even the top real estate wholesalers, even they are not using the right tech to leverage their time to go out and find more money or more deals or build institutional relationships with funds that will buy property. Use technology to your benefit. And I'm not talking about, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Podio, Globiflow, DocuSign, Zapier, and Google Sheets. And I know y'all are laughing right now. Whomever's listening.
I'm laughing.
You're laughing because you know that's true.
I was holding it in. Go ahead.
You know that's true, right? And it's such a stupid, antiquated way of running your business. Why? Because these technologies combined, absolutely 4-letter word, suck. You can't leverage this. You're not even building in any enterprise value into your business with this. It makes no sense. And then what happens if Podio is super slow and like the dashboard sucks and your team member downloads some data and like accidentally moves it? Like you're shooting yourself in the foot here. What you really need to do is understand how to use custom technology and AI to your benefit tomorrow. I'll give you an example of this. I'm building a tool for me that combs through all of the MLS and all of the Redfin and Zillow APIs for properties that meet certain criteria. Based on those addresses, I'm going to skip trace the heck out of those addresses, find those home sellers, those homeowners, which then become sellers. And I know that if I contact 100 of those homeowners, maybe a couple will sell to me, right? That's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But between the custom technology that I'm building and my VA team, I can scale this and be in every market tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Man, it's
as a
so
founder,
interesting. That's a great example, and that's one. You're right. There's very few of them out there like that. But I had one on the show. Geez, I can't remember their name right this moment, but it was maybe a month ago, and it was just they kind of explained that thought process, and I'm like, oh my gosh, tech is that whole market was open, like just right for tech. Like people are still writing things on signs out there, putting them on. And I'm not saying signs don't work, right? I get it, but I'm just saying that your approach sounds a lot more scalable to me.
totally. I mean, and another example is private lenders. Real estate private lenders, hard money lenders, even mortgage originators, like for your conventional mortgages. They're not using any kind of tech. Adam, they're using Google Sheets, Podio, Globiflow, DocuSign, and Zapier. The same crap that real estate wholesalers are using, real estate private lenders are using. And not all of them, but a lot of them are using the same thing. What if you could have a matrix? Like even if you were brokering out loans, and for all you private lenders out there, consider this. If you had your borrowers go to your website, fill out a form, get a login, they can track the progress of their loan, but more specifically, when they submit their loan request to you, you could automatically identify, you could build in a predictable like index, and essentially a matrix that cross-references all of the table funders that you're working with and the borrower's loan request. Which one matches? And this tech would tell you that institutional lender A matches this loan request 92%. Institutional lender B matches this loan request by 85%. You click on it and it will show you which categories it matches, and then you click on approve, and there are a bunch of automated things that happen after. That's something that I built for a local lender in Atlanta. He went from like $4 million a month in origination, and now he's doing $20 million a month in origination.
Wow.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. You get me excited. You got me all fired up over here. Come on, I'm not even real estate. I'm like, I want to do it too. Come on.
Right. But that's possible.
That's amazing.
We as small business owners, Adam, we need to think outside the box. We need to think bigger. And we need to think about how we can leverage ourselves and leverage technology to do that. And if you ever think about having the tech conversation, I'm your guy.
That's awesome. So, Abhi, really, I could talk to you about this all day long. First of all, I love it. Great tips and great things, and thank you for not picking on me too much because I was the bottleneck. Now, if my team's listening to this, you know I'm not the bottleneck because you don't let me do anything except for talk on this mic. So I don't get to do anything else. They just make me do this. So I'm the labor. It's okay. I can be the labor. I love it. But again, thank you, Abhi, for coming on the show. It's been fun having you back for this reunion 2020 episode. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you had a lot of fun listening to this because we had fun making this and bringing it to you. If you did, subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review in the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there, and leave us some comments in the comment section. Love to know what you think about tech and what kind of businesses you're working on. Let's keep the conversation going in the YouTube community. And Abhi, thanks again for coming back on the show.